So today, we're going to dive into a really powerful concept for inner growth called Naphach. It comes from a framework known as Marco Chay. And here's the thing. It's all about a journey into expansion that, kind of surprisingly, doesn't start with light. It starts in the dark.
So let's just start with this paradox, right? What if the real path to unlocking your limitless potential doesn't begin with a big flash of light and clarity, but with something that feels more like an empty, maybe even confusing, void?
Okay, so in this framework, you can imagine our inner world as this kind of inner architecture. Our journey today starts at what's called the fifth door. And this door, this space, is opened by the Hebrew word Naphach, which literally means to blow or to exhale. You can think of it as a divine breath.
Now, this whole idea comes from Genesis 2:7, where God blew life, that's Naphach, into man. But in this model, that divine breath does way more than just bring us to life. It actually creates a space inside of us, a space for reception, which is associated with our feminine or receptive side.
But here's the twist. Actually going into this inner space for the first time, it's usually not this, pleasant, amazing experience. The source material is really clear about this. It's often dark, it's faint, it's confusing. It's a place where you literally have to feel your way forward because you just can't see clearly.
So what is this darkness then? Well, the key thing to understand is that it's not some empty destination. It's something way more personal and honestly, way more revealing.
And this is where we get this incredibly powerful reframing. That darkness you first feel, it isn't a true void. It's just available space. That feeling of being stuck or that you've hit a dead end, that's not the space itself. No, the space is just a mirror. It's just reflecting back to you all the inner blockages, the fears, and the limiting beliefs that you're carrying into it.
For example, one of the framework's authors, Daniela Arteaga, she talks about how her first vision inside this space was a cemetery. But see, it wasn't some kind of premonition. It was a perfect symbol of her own deep-seated belief that a certain area of her life was just over, that there was no future, no possibility for her there. So once you realize that the darkness is just a reflection of what's inside you, that's when you can unlock the true purpose of Naphach. And its real function is captured in a couple of really beautiful, powerful metaphors.
The first one, and this one might sound a little weird at first, is the idea of Naphach as a masculine womb. So let's break that down.
I mean, think about what a womb actually does, right? It protects, it nurtures, it lets something grow in total safety. Well, this inner space, Naphach, acts like a symbolic paternal womb. It provides the structure and the security where our potential, our biggest dreams, our very sense of who we are can actually grow, without all the pressure from the outside world. It's a space that's designed for us to just let go, to surrender our constant pushing and just be held by something immense.
And that's the ultimate transformation. It's a total 180. Your inner world shifts from feeling like a cemetery, a place of finality, to being this direct connection with the wonder of the cosmos, a quantum field of infinite possibility. See, Naphach isn't an end at all. It's the fertile ground for a spectacular new beginning.
Okay, so how does this actually work in practice? Let's bring this down to earth because there's a super simple analogy using our own bodies that makes this crystal clear.
Just think about your breath for a second. Naphach, that's the inhalation. It's the act of creating space, of building capacity inside you. It's pure potential. And then there's another concept, neshama, and we can think of that as the exhalation. That's the action, the blessing, the thing you actually express out into the world. And this right here is the absolute key. Without first creating that internal space, without that deep inhalation of possibility, your ability to exhale a blessing, to give anything meaningful, is completely restricted. I mean, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? It's the exact same idea. You just can't give what you don't have the capacity to hold in the first place.
So this brings us to the whole journey of Naphach. It's basically a blueprint for how you move from that feeling of being stuck in a void to experiencing this incredible internal vastness.
The path really unfolds in these 4 steps. First, you encounter that void, but you make the choice to see it as available space. Then, and this is the hard part, you have to consciously surrender control. You let go of just trying to muscle through everything on your own. And that act of surrender, that opens the door for you to connect with a sense of wonder, which is what finally lets you experience that profound inner expansion.
So what does it feel like on the other side of this? Well, it's a deep, profound sense of belonging and freedom. It's this quiet knowing, captured perfectly in this simple affirmation that people often experience in this space. The universe is large, and you are part of it.
You are welcome here. And so, this leaves us with one final, very practical thought. If creating this inner space is so vital, can we actually cultivate it on purpose? Could something as simple as taking a moment to just go outside and gaze at the stars, or maybe losing yourself in a vast landscape, could that be the key to dissolving our own limits and creating that essential space within?